be a frightening experience racing at Martinsville. Your day can go bad in a hurry. The NASCAR Camping World Truck Series. It's the playoffs, the round of 6. This is the first of 3 races in this round. And it's Martinsville, a half-mile paperclip.
Let's take a look at our Camping World track description. We were at Talladega our last race. Vince, it was 5 times bigger than this race. You can see just over a half-mile in length. The turns are banked 12 degrees, but they've always felt flat to me. You see the straightaways 1,800 feet apiece.
And the race analysis.
See, this race is 200 laps, just over 100 miles. You see our stage is really short, 50 laps in the final stage, 100. You see the pit window is somewhere between 130 and 140 laps. That means if these guys get to about lap 65, they would be in their window to make it the rest of the way.
And some of these teams are going to look at making a one-stop race today. Starting lineup there in the pylon to the left of your screen, and you see Kyle Busch Motorsports dominating at the front. The first 3 spots belonging to KBM, and Todd Gilliland, the pole winner for the first time in his young career. And the onboards today.
We're going to ride along with Stuart Friesen. Just missed making the round of 6 by 6 points. He's been so close to victory lane. This is the Chevrolet onboard camera. He will start from the 11th spot, and he's going to have that front bumper cam that Kurt, you said you give odds it won't make it.
I got $1 that says it doesn't make it. So for the rest of the day, we're going to be riding around with Matt Crafton with the helmet cam. Ford supplied that to the drivers, and I love this view. It puts you right in the seat, right in the action. And right now, Crafton's just warming up his tires, but we're going to see a lot of different things from this camera angle on braking, acceleration, and the way he fights the steering wheel through the center of the corner.
Let's get some final thoughts from downstairs trackside. We'll begin with Hermie Sadler.
Well, Vince, there's 32 trucks taking the green flag, but when it falls today, I'm going to be watching the number 16 of Brett Moffitt. He starts back in the 17th position. He's plus 13 when it comes to playoff points, but he knows he will have to attack early and often not to give up those points. Caitlin?
Well, Hermie, I'm going to keep an eye on Grant Enfinger. Had a top 5 performance here at Martinsville earlier in the spring. Talking with his crew chief, Jeff Hensley, he told me they brought a very similar setup to what they ran in the spring with some subtle tweaks. Despite the fact they had no practice time due to rain, he said Grant was happy with this truck in qualifying. He will start 6th for today's race. Michael?
Caitlin, the key to winning at Martinsville is getting up off the corner. You've got to have good grip when you accelerate up off turns 2 and 4. That's the key. There's a transition from the concrete to the pavement. It makes the truck get loose. So when you're watching up in the booth, the guys that can move maybe up a half a groove in the middle of the turn and then shoot off the exit right about that STP sign, be dead at the bottom, that's the truck that's going to win this race today.
Good stuff, Mike.
That's a great angle from down there, and he's exactly right. You got to have that forward bite, and you got to protect it all day long. You could cook through your rear tires, and that's what we saw with the Cup car. Was a little bit more rear wear than normal. So we'll see how this plays out for these guys, but very short stages like you're talking about, Vince.
And we should point out that the trucks are on the same tire that you guys ran in the Cup.
Yeah, that's what I like about this point in the season. The trucks are on the same track and the same tire as us through the playoffs. So there's a lot of good information that we can gather up from these truck teams, and it gives these kids too, and the veterans that are out there with Sauter, Crafton, it gives them that read to watch the Cup guys. So it's a good exchange back and forth.
And these truck guys also had to rely on what you guys saw in practice forward, because they didn't have any practice yesterday.
It's pretty wild, yeah, no practice.
They just got the one to go, and here's a look at the other drivers that have won at the short tracks this season. This is the 5th and final race on the short track. John Hunter Nemechek winning here in March, and only one other driver has swept at Martinsville, so he'll try to do that in the truck.
I'm excited for this start. You got a couple KBM trucks on the front row, and it's the nerves and the feel of the playoffs. So those top 6 guys that are still running for the championship, they're hoping nobody misses a shift and everybody plays it cool here.
And our pole winner, Todd Gilliland, is going to take the outside. His teammate, the 51 of Harrison Burton, on the inside. More than likely will work together on the start, Kurt.
That's what the direction would be. The crew chiefs would talk, lead engineers. My little brother, the truck owner, probably jumps in there and says, listen, guys, let's work together. We're on the front row. Let's not take our chances away early. Let the truck come in from the outside, and then you got another KBM truck running in third. So that all should file in here at the beginning. But sometimes things get a little bit askew right away.
Trying to clean up some stuff on pit road. That's why we did not take the green there. They've actually given now 2 to go, so they've just taken the 2 to go, and it gives us an opportunity to look at our playoff drivers and how they have fared at Martinsville. And of course, Gregson got that win here in this race last year, his first career win. Johnny Sauter tied for the most wins in a truck here at Martinsville with 3. He, along with Kevin Harvick and Dennis Setzer, Mike Skinner, they've all won 3 times here.
You know, last year this race, actually the spring race last year is when we first noticed Noah Gragson. Had trouble the first couple 3 races of the year, came here, had a solid top 5 finish, then went on to win the fall race with Noah Gragson, put his name on a contender here 1 year ago in March.
They are now getting ready to take the 1 to go. Gives us a chance to listen in on the radio of Matt Crafton.
The break at lap 50, let's be heads up, okay? We might have to call an audible if it goes straight to 50. And a few of those guys that are ahead of us, if they are, we'll come. If they stay, we'll stay.
Crew Chief Carl Joyner, Junior Joyner, and the spotter Stevie Reeves will help out Matt Crafton today.
I just saw him hit all his switches. He turned on all of his brake fans up front, rear end fan, rear brake fan. He tried to use the pace laps to warm everything up. So that was a nice little flip of the switch from the helmet cam. We're about ready to roll, boys. This is looking good.
Junior Joyner talking about maybe be able to change their strategy. We haven't even started the race yet, and they're talking about changing their strategy.
That's what you can do. You can throw it right at the veteran and go, okay, no problem.
You better keep it fluid today, depending on where the yellows fall, how this one's going to turn out. A couple of Kyle Busch Motorsports teenagers on the front row. Todd Gilliland, the pole winner in the 4 truck, starting on the outside with Harrison Burton inside, and we're racing at Martinsville.
He gave him plenty of room there, didn't he?
He did.
You got to like when team orders play out, but here they go now. It's going to be tough. Tires are still very cold in the way that the trucks don't turn very well, but most everybody's going to be fighting for the bottom here early.
Yeah, low air pressure, too, as they start the race here with these tires.
That's Ben Rhodes in the 41 on the outside, trying to get the better of Harrison Burton. Not going to happen, though, as Burton recovers, and they're side-by-side into 1 for second. Remember, Rhodes had a terrific run here in the spring. Won the pole, won stage 1, won stage 2, led 134 laps, but had a problem on a late pit stop, and that ended up costing them track position and eventually the race as Burton secures second.
Yeah, it looked like Rhodes just wanted to kind of go, all right, Burton, go on ahead. I'll fall in line behind you, and then we'll start to get a feel for the chassis that's underneath. Because these guys didn't have much practice, none at all. You just chose to use it in qualifying, and now they're getting their first big time of the heat soak into the tires and into the rotors.
I think Grant Enfinger wanted to get that spot and did get that spot in front of Noah Gragson. Little give and take early on here in this race.
Yeah, I'm liking what I'm seeing. You know, some of the times you get in there and you got a bunch of young kids, they're going hard, but the way the trucks are driving with these tires, they're definitely going to get a lot of laps out of them, and we'll see how it plays out once we do get closer to that first break.
Love this view from Stuart Friesen's bumper. Friesen back in the 13th spot. That's the 46 truck just ahead of him of Christian Eckes. Another one of those KBM trucks, and Eckes has had a pretty good year. He's come up through the ranks and has shown himself well in the truck, but he's coming, that's for sure.
Yeah, great season in the ARCA Racing Series. Wasn't old enough to run all the races, but still has 3 wins this year in the ARCA Racing Series.
There's the 8 of John Hunter in that 24 truck. Opened up the playoffs with the win at Canada, but he's the first to admit this isn't his best track.
I think if he could just survive, maybe get a handful of playoff points, as we watched Johnny Sauter trying to grab the 6th spot away from the 17 of Kyle Benjamin.
Benjamin ran second here in the spring.
What you're going to start to see transitioning now are guys that ended up with a little bit better Q run, and then now they're starting to fade back a little bit because maybe they're not loose enough and they're picking up a tighter condition. And some guys that didn't qualify good, they might have been sliding around too loose, setting up more for the race trim run.
And you were telling me that your Cup car got a little bit tighter and tighter as the racetrack temperature came up.
As each set of tires that we went through, track got tighter, and each of the sessions that we go through, the track was warmer because of the daytime temps.
Todd Gilliland out front. He's led them all so far, Hermie.
Vince, I got a chance to speak with Todd this morning. He knows what a great opportunity that he has driving this for Kyle Busch Motorsports. But he told me, you know what? We just need an uneventful race. We got fast trucks. I know I can do the job. We just got to stay out of trouble. His last 2 finishes, both outside the top 20. But now that he's out front dominating, maybe his goals for today might change, but he is looking good right now.
Looking good indeed. He's been out front for all 11 laps so far. Todd Gilliland leading the way at Martinsville. The first race in the round of 6 for the NASCAR Camping World Truck Series. We're at Martinsville, where the 4 truck of Todd Gilliland has led all 18 laps so far. Not getting much pressure with a lead of a little more than a second and a half over his teammate Harrison Burton. Grant Enfinger, who won earlier in the playoffs, victorious at Las Vegas. Caitlin, he's running 4th.
Yeah, Vince, and I talked to him about that run at Las Vegas earlier. He said he felt like over the last couple of weeks this team has finally been able to show consistent speed. But he told me when he looked at Martinsville this weekend, he really considers this a wild card race in this round. He said, I cannot afford to be conservative at this race here today. So, Kurt, what is that like, balancing the aggression and also patience at a racetrack like Martinsville?
Well, what he's referring to is the wild card feel is when you don't know when somebody's going to check up on a restart, and then you get put into a vulnerable position and somebody hits you from behind. But you have to be aggressive, like he's saying, and right now he's running 4th, and if the stage were to end right now, he's going to cash in on good stage 1 points. So we'll see if he starts to put some pressure on Rhodes to try to grab another spot.
And Enfinger came into the playoff mix 4th in the standings. A little bit of a cushion, but that cushion can go away in a hurry here in the traffic of Martinsville. There's the 75 of Parker Kligerman, and right behind him the 16 of Brett Moffitt. Moffitt started 17th, has gained just 1 position, hasn't been moving up quite as quickly as maybe we thought he should.
Yeah, they had a conversation before the race, and they said, remember, Brett, a lot of these guys right around you, you've never raced around before, so let's be a little tentative here to start with. But I think he would love to get up there and jump up in the top 10. He needs to get some playoff points, but these stages go by so fast.
Yeah, Phil, he was a little bit tight in the second round of qualifying. I just hopped up on the pit box and asked his crew chief, Scott Zipadelli, I said, is the truck too tight? He said, no, we're just stuck, meaning stuck in traffic. And you guys can add to this. If you don't get some cooperation from the guy you're trying to pass, you've got to be sometimes a half a second faster than the driver in front of you to make a clean pass. So right now, the truck's not perfect, but more than anything, he is stuck in traffic.
Yeah, with the way that sometimes Martinsville will do this to you, right, Phil, where you're just glued to the spot that you're running. You can't run any faster with your lap time, and you're like 17th, wearing yourself out, not picking up any spots. I've had that happen to Martinsville a ton.
Running the same speed as the guy running 4th.
Yeah, and it's
just
like,
lap after lap.
Game? What happened? Why did we miss the setup? So we'll see what they adjust on that truck. Zipadelli's smart. Moffitt's a good kid. They should be able to figure something out on what is causing them to be glued in that spot. But wow, look at this, already in lap traffic. We're halfway through stage 1, and it looks like Gilliland's just starting to click it off here.
That's DJ Kennington in the 49 that Gilliland's putting a lap down. So Austin Self just ahead of him in the 22.
We'll check what lead he has. He has 2 seconds of a lead getting into traffic, and we'll watch that as we go through the next 5-10 laps and see if other trucks behind him are able to navigate the traffic a little better.
Johnny Sauter, Noah Gregson, Grant Enfinger. You've got 3 playoff trucks right in a row behind that green 41 of Ben Rhodes. You can maybe be a little more patient at this stage in the race, but the later that race goes, the shorter that that patience becomes, isn't it?
Yeah, I think these guys are really working together well. As you mentioned, 3 playoff contenders, actually 4 counting Matt Crafton, but I think they're really playing nice, but we're only just outside of 20 laps to go in this stage.
I think as drivers, you're mentally looking at a 50-lap stage run, and now we're halfway through. Now you're starting to push the pedal a little bit quicker. You're starting on the brakes a little bit harder, and you're starting to count these spots that are just right in front of you.
Like right there.
Yep. He's going to start moving in on it and trying to go for it, but we'll see.
Guys, the best sound a crew chief likes to hear from his driver is nothing. And that's exactly what Joe Shear Jr. is getting from Johnny Sauter. Said he hasn't said a word, but he knew that Johnny would be patient early, and he's right on the back bumper of the top 5. So things are going well for this team.
Well, and it seems like maybe that patience starting to wear a little bit with Sauter and Noah Gregson, because he knows he's faster than Gregson, starting to wear out that bumper a little bit.
He starts wearing out that right rear bumper. that can get you a little bit loose. And now he's going to try to cut underneath him.
He's got a nice move there, wasn't it, Kurt? Wow.
He's got a good truck. He was able to run high on entry and then cut low on exit, and now try to run through the center of the corner and just kind of move up Gregson out of the way.
A couple of championship contenders there, door to door, Johnny Sauter and Noah Gregson. And Matt Crafton has come right up into the picture as well. So Sauter in 5th, Gregson 6th, Crafton right there We got 4 championship contenders in the top 7.
I was talking to Johnny right after qualifying. He said his truck was not that good in qualifying. He said he was a little bit free in the corner and then had a little bit of trouble turning the center. I said, do you think that'll get better in race pace? He said, I probably so, but he said, we'll just work on it all day. Well, they can work on it as much as one pit stop will do. That's how much time they're going to have to work on these trucks, probably.
Positive attitude there.
Ben Rhodes trying to move in there. Sauter's
not giving an inch here. He is wanting to collect these stage points.
Johnny Sauter with another nice move. So he's gotten past Gregson and now puts Grant Enfinger on the outside. Gregson's going to come with him.
Yeah, obviously Johnny came into this race in the best position, plus 28 over the cut line. If he can get some great stage points in this early stage, he's going to be looking pretty good.
What a tight move. Crafton was hoping that Effinger would leave the door open. He got in there, and that was going to help with the corner exit, but I didn't think there would be enough room for Crafton and that curb to not stay off the 98 truck. So that was a good move.
Enfinger's lost a few spots in the last few laps as Johnny Sauter continues to make his way toward the front, getting past Ben Rhodes now for 3rd.
He is just bulldozing.
Up front, it's been Todd Gilliland. He's led them all, but it is tight quarter racing at Martinsville.
On Prime Video.
Welcome back to Martinsville. That's the Ford driven by Todd Gilliland. He is on pit road. Remember, this truck is not in playoff contention. They hope to gain track position back at the end of the next stage. His truck was tight. They put 4 tires on it. Tight also for the 51 of Harrison Burton. 4 tires as well. The 16 of Brett Moffitt. He is also on pit road. His truck was too tight rolling the center. He was stuck back in traffic. 4 tires and air pressure for Brett Moffitt.
So what's it tell you about the different strategies that we saw play out right there? Hermie mentioned the Ford 51, not in championship contention, but the 16 of Moffitt is.
And Kurt and I talked about it when the caution came out. We're away at commercial break. Those guys were outside the top 10. Brett Moffitt, Justin Haley outside the top 10. Didn't look like they were going to get any stage points. Why not come in, work on the truck a little bit, and trying to be in good position when they get to the end of the second stage.
And here's why we are under caution. The 33 of Chad Finley over in turn 3.
All by himself. Sometimes you get that axle hop going on. I didn't quite see that, but definitely easy to be loose on entry if you jump on the brakes too hard and the truck will snap around on you.
Finley just got married last week, and here they are in Martinsville, kind of a brief stopover before the honeymoon, so unfortunately it didn't work out as well as he had hoped today. How about the 24, Caitlin?
Well, Vince, he was another one of the playoff contenders who elected to come down pit road. Just checking in with crew chief Kevin Bellacourt, saying the truck a little bit tight before that last pit stop. They went ahead and did a right side tires only on that stop, guys.
Yeah, we could have predicted 11th or so on back, but what I saw very interesting there was the 2 KBM trucks that were leading. First and second, they pitted. They're not running for the points. They're more trying to position themselves for stage 2 and to see how that plays out, or even towards the end of the race. But that was a gift. Look at that. Sauter now will be the leader. Gregson second. And a bunch of the guys, of course, that are in the championship hunt, we're going to stay out there to grab these stage points.
Yeah, so with the top 2 trucks going to pit road for stops, being Gilliland and Harrison Burton, that's going to put Johnny Sauter at the front along with Noah Gregson, and gives them an opportunity not only to pick up a couple of extra playoff points or stage points, but maybe a stage win as well.
Yeah, and I think it's going to be interesting now with those 2 top trucks from KBM, Harrison Burton and Todd Gilliland, back there, see how well they can get through traffic on fresh tires. That'll give them an idea what's going to happen late in the race, Hermie.
The 21 of Sauter took the outside because they plan to work on this restart with the 18, but Johnny Sauter a little bit tentative about it, working with the 18. We'll see how this plays out.
Going to be less than 10 to go here in stage 1 when they take the green. Sauter on the outside, Noah Gregson on the inside, a couple of championship contenders, and the green in the air and waving. Going to be a sprint to the end of the first stage. Sauter out front. Matt Crafton charging hard on the outside.
It worked just like it was supposed to for the front 2.
Yeah, and then when you get second and third side by side, Sauter's digging that. He's hoping that those 2 get hung up, but looks like Gregson clears him. Crafton's been falling to third. Now he's got to hold off Rhodes from back in 4th. So far, it's been somewhat cordial. What do you think, Phil?
I don't know. I'm surprised.
Me too.
There's the 54 you saw on the outside there, Tyler Ankrum. 4 K&N wins this year. The K&N East champ in that 54 truck, making his Truck Series debut here today. Having a good run so far inside the top 10.
Watching the KBM trucks, that's Harrison Burton, the 51. And heavy traffic, that's Dawson Cram, the 83, to his outside.
And with just 5 to go here in this first stage, every position, especially for those championship contenders, every single spot matters. You don't want to get past and give up a spot, or if you got an opportunity to get one, you're going to take it.
One thing that's tough that doesn't stand out to a non-racer, when you're waiting for your tires to heat up because they're fresh and they have stickers on them, you got to wait those couple laps. But as a driver, you're like, I have stickers on. I'm supposed to be able to just pass these guys. It's a tough balance to find when you have the fresh tires against somebody that's got the older tires.
Justin Haley looking inside as he's right there behind the 51 of Harrison Burton.
See, that moves him up to the 11th spot. He's only 1 spot out of point-paying position in the stage here, but with only 3 to go.
Trying to get past that 83 of Dawson Cram.
What this is showing me up front, all those guys that are running for the championship, trying to collect these stage points, they've got their thinking caps on. Everybody's trying to gather up those points, bank them now, and then worry about things later on as far as going for the race win.
Sauter with about a half a second lead over Noah Gragson as they have 1 lap remaining here in this first stage. Sauter's got 5 race wins this season, but only 3 stage wins. Looking for an additional playoff point with this one as Noah Gragson chases Johnny Sauter in through 3 and 4. And here comes Sauter. He's going to win stage 1.
Stage in. Hey guys, we're going to stay out here.
You heard it from Joe Shear right there. 21 Johnny Sauter going to stay out.
Yeah, I feel like with the quantity of laps on their tires and the position that they're in, they're definitely looking to hold on to that stage and get stage 2 on this same set of tires.
Johnny Sauter off to a good start. Stage 1 winner at Martinsville. Back here at Martinsville at the end of stage 1, the NASCAR Camping World Truck Series, the opening race in the round of 6. The leader Johnny Sauter staying out, but Ben Rhodes is coming for a stop, Hermie.
Yeah, Vince, the 41 coming down pit road. His truck has been too tight through the center of the corner. The longer they run, the worse it gets. That's certainly not uncommon here at Martinsville. So they want to come in, try to take advantage of this caution. They'll put 4 tires on this truck, make you see the adjustment right there, a track bar adjustment on the right side to try to get this truck to roll better through the center of the corner.
Of course, Rhodes had a great run here last year, great truck in the spring, I should say. Led 134 laps. He's coming to get some early service. But the leader, Johnny Sauter, who won stage 1, stayed out. Let's chat with our stage 1 winner, shall we?
Hey, Johnny Sauter, this is Phil, Kurt, and Vince up in the booth. You got a copy?
Yes, sir. How's it going?
Good, man. Looks like it's going pretty good for you. Looks like we got about halfway through that first stage, and you said it's time to go, and away you went up towards the front.
Yeah, I don't know. Obviously, our SF Connect Chevy has good speed, sustaining speed. So hopefully that remains true for this next stage here, and we can keep it up front, and then obviously come and get the tires. But Joe and the guys, everybody at GMS doing a good job, and we got a long way to go. So keep working it. It feels like we're on ice out here today, so I hope everybody's feeling the same way.
All right, great job, buddy. Keep it up.
10-4, thank you.
Feeling like you're on ice. Got to be a disconcerting feeling, right?
And he's the leader.
Yeah. Johnny Sauter collects 10 points for that stage 1 win.
Welcome back to Martinsville Speedway. Guys, since the inaugural season of the Camping World Truck Series, Mittler Brothers Racing has been here. They've given 49 drivers a chance to start their career in NASCAR, including Brad Keselowski and Carl Edwards. It's just been amazing what this team has done. But at home in Missouri, team owner Mike Mittler is battling cancer. Everyone in this garage area, the whole NASCAR community wants to stand up on lap 63 and tell Mike we're standing for him.
Thinking about you, Mike.
His driver, Kyle Donahue, doing a pretty nice job here, still on the lead lap.
Stage 2 at Martinsville underway with Johnny Sauter at the point. Noah Gregson inside.
He's working with him a little bit there.
About halfway.
Yeah, that's like, all right, that's the last time I'm really going to work with you there. We'll have to see how this plays out for Crafton and Enfinger back there. 3rd and 4th, side by side. Crafton's not afraid, just putting it right in there in turn 4.
Yeah, teammates at Thorsport, the 88 of Crafton, the 98 of Enfinger. Ooh, problems for the 52. Looks like it's a flat left front tire.
Left rear.
Left rear tire looks like.
Oh, yeah.
Indeed, it's the left rear. He was running 11th. Caution is out. Caution out for the 2nd time today because of an incident. Chad Finley involved in a single truck incident earlier.
He's not going to get it refired in time. He's going to go a lap down. He did a really good job to keep it off the wall and not have damage, and then the yellow came out, but man, he's going to lose a lap here.
Of course, Stuart
trying to restart it.
So listen.
2 right top, 3 right top, 2 right top, 2 right top.
From that angle, it's tough to tell. Maybe somebody got into his left rear.
It's possible, but we know it's flat now. Got down to it, had no air in it when he got down to turn 1.
He's got it turned around though. Finally, lost a lap, and we'll see what he can do to dig back out of this hole.
Friesen just missed advancing to this round of 6 in the playoff structure. Missed by 6 points. Here's a little bit of contact, maybe the 30 of Burton.
That definitely roughed up his left rear. Now he's 3 wide. So it might have started way back in turn 2.
Yeah, undoubtedly that caused a slow leak. Yep. It's already flat right there. You can see it already flat.
Yeah, I think it was that contact.
Those are those moments when you're a playoff driver that you call Martinsville a wild card. It's exactly just that. He was kind of minding his own business, slips up just a little bit, somebody gets in your left rear, now you got a flat.
Unfortunate for Friesen, a 3-time runner-up this season, still looking for his first Truck Series win.
Welcome back to Truck Series action from Martinsville Speedway. Taking a look at Grant Enfinger in the 98 truck, just listening to the communication with his team over the radio, saying less overall grip on exit. As crew chief said, you really helped yourself being patient on the throttle on 3 and 4. We'll ride the stage out and hopefully sit pretty at the end. Vince?
Well, and on this restart, 33 to go with Johnny Sauter out front.
Closes the door down into turn 1.
Enfinger, that 3rd truck in line on the inside with Noah Gregson squeezed in between, and now Crafton takes the spot from his teammate Enfinger.
Getting a little bit dicier now on this restart. And what's happened here already, this is halfway through stage 2 almost, and we've only got 2 green flag laps. This is definitely where business is picking up for guys that want to gain their track position back.
See, the 24 of Haley gets inside of Harrison Burton, make a little contact, slides him up the racetrack. Going to try to make the pass on the inside.
Yeah, we got to be careful with that contact. We just saw that with Stuart Friesen, a little contact to the left rear, cut his tire. Got to be careful if you're one of those championship contenders. You don't want to see your hopes go down with that type of an incident. Side by side, Sheldon Creed and Jeff Burton. Creed's going to get that spot in the 2 truck, the ARCA Series champ here in 2018.
You can block all you want, but you're going to have a hard time holding your truck down going into turn 3 when somebody's right there on you.
Especially when they're pushing you into the corner.
The way Moffitt was there pushing Burton.
You know, you can get away with it a couple times, but you know, eventually you're going to get moved out of the way if you try to block too much too often. It just looks like Burton is in a tough spot. He's just kind of pinned on the high side.
And watch the 16 of Moffitt there, and he currently is in the 12th spot, but like a pinball bouncing off.
That's a playoff contender with people hitting him on the left and the right.
And he's like, hey, everybody, chill out, man. I'm running for points.
There's a lot of paint being rubbed right now. And Jeff Burton has been in the midst of quite a bit of it. That's Myatt Snyder in the 13. He's got a couple of wrinkles in his fender as well. And here's Ben Rhodes in the 41 inside with the 99 of Chase Purdy coming. Another driver making his debut in that black 99.
Finally, Burton's able to find the bottom and get back in line. He just got moved up, and then it's a freight train of trucks. They're just going to keep coming, and it's so hard to get back down to the bottom groove.
Solid day so far for these playoff contenders. Matt Crafton, the 88, teammate Grant Enfinger, the 98, continuing to run 3rd and 4th.
Yeah, the top 4 are playoff contenders, and there's the 23 of Timothy Peters. Won last race at Talladega. Scored his first career win in the Truck Series here back in 2009. And it didn't take him long to get up in the mix. He's currently sitting 6th.
How about that Ford truck, Vince? Right in front of him, Todd Gilliland, pitted back on lap number 39, has already made his way back up into the top 5, and he knows everybody in front of him will have to come to pit road here more than likely at the end of the stage.
Yeah, Gilliland led the first 39 laps from the pole, and as Phil mentioned, gave up that lead when he took an early pit stop. Others elected to stay out, but Gilliland has made his way back up through.
I like what's brewing up here. We've got Gragson, Crafton, Enfinger all on older tires running for points, and you've got Todd Gilliland looking to charge through and gain, spots back up onto Sauter. So it'll be interesting to see what happens these next 25 laps. And those Thor Sport Fords definitely are playing it cool, working it together right now. I don't know if we'll see that later on in stage 3.
And I don't think Todd Gilliland cares if those guys in front of him get stage points or not. I think if he can make the move by them guys, he will.
He did say, though, he wants just a nice, smooth day, not have anything wrinkled up and not have any big blemishes, so to speak. But he's running smart, he's running smooth, and the guys at KBM will keep him dialed in.
Yeah, Gilliland has taken DNFs because of accidents the last 2 races, Las Vegas and Talladega. They got to believe if they can just be there at the end, run all the laps, they're going to have a shot at winning this race, and it would be the first career win for Gilliland. And right now, there you see him 3rd in line behind Matt Crafton and Grant Enfinger. Crafton running 3rd, Enfinger 4th, Gilliland 5th, and that's Timothy Peters in the white 23 just behind them.
You can see Enfinger looking to try to make a move, and why he's so aggressive right now, even though it's his teammate. If you look ahead of Crafton, there's a ton of track ahead of Crafton, and that's where he's wanting to go. He's like, I know I'm faster than you, we're teammates, but hey, buddy, look ahead down the track. I should be in that spot, and that's why you need to let me go real quick.
He's being very teammate-ish right now by not really using that front bumper on Matt Crafton.
And, if I'm in the 88 truck, I'm looking in the mirror, trying to see who's behind the 98 to see if he's got a lot of pressure, because I want to fall back in line as quick as I can and not get hung out on the outside like what happened to Burton earlier.
Well, that's a pack of 5 right there that could win this race. Crafton and Enfinger. But the guy up front is the one they're all chasing in that 21 truck. Johnny Sauter, the stage 1 winner here at Martinsville.
In the NASCAR playoffs, the energy transforms everything.
The pack is flying apart!
An infield becomes the place to be.
Wrecking bad.
A spectator becomes a fan. An experience becomes unforgettable.
He lit the track on fire.
And a driver becomes a champion.
Right, the party in victory lane.
Be there as these drivers lay it all on the line.
Wow. Threading the needle.
Get your tickets to the NASCAR playoffs by visiting NASCAR.com/tickets.
Tag.
You're in.
Toyota, let's go places.
In the NASCAR Camping World Truck Series playoffs, we know what it takes to win the championship. This.
Clear.
This.
Go.
And a whole lot of...
That's what I'm talking about! Yes!
Because to be champion,
Sauter and Moffitt side by side.
you've got to lay it all on the line.
Tomorrow, it's America's Game of the Week.
Tuck in, man. It's time to go.
Aaron Rodgers and the Packers venture into hostile territory as they battle Jared Goff, Todd Gurley, and the undefeated Rams. Let's go! Can Green Bay spoil their perfect season? Touchdown! Or will they be sent packing? What a run! America's Game of the Week. It all starts with Fox NFL Kickoff on Fox and the Fox Sports app.
Back here at Martinsville with 13 to go here in stage 2. Justin Haley in that 24 truck running 8th. Good battle here between John Hunter Nemechek and the yellow number 8 and the 4 of Todd Gilliland. Well, there have been battles all over the track as we get in these late laps here in stage 2. Just ahead of them, Matt Crafton and Grant Enfinger running 3rd and 4th.
John Hunter, our winner in the spring race here in Martinsville, the 250 lapper. We know he has a good combination for this race. Ollie's on board for this one. Great battle here side by side with Gilliland.
He's picked up the most spots since the start of the race, and when you're a spring winner and you don't have much practice, what are you going to do? You're pretty much going to go with that setup that you ran in the spring. And so it's looking like it's playing dividends here on the long run, and that's where he's able to make up some time.
Like Enfinger gave his teammate Matt Crafton a bump.
Look at this. This is getting busy.
And Gilliland right through the middle. Enfinger couldn't make the corner, and Gilliland took it on the outside.
Crafton's given the outside to guys. He knows he's a little bit slower right now, and he's giving the outside up. And maybe Enfinger didn't know about that. Hunter Nemechek's coming through there. Look at this. Gilliland's going to come out the winner on this.
And Enfinger loses 3 spots in that transaction.
Definitely playing the move right here. When you're Crafton, and you know your truck's not quite perfect, he's hugging the bottom, giving the outside away. He's trying to collect the most points that he possibly can and not give up a huge amount of spots.
Kurt, you nailed it. I talked to crew chief Jerry Kennan on that 8 truck of John Hunter Nemechek. He said, we got a great setup. We know we do. We won in the spring with it. John Hunter just overdrove the truck in qualifying. How many times has the crew chief blamed what happened on you, Kurt?
Absolutely. Setup's dialed in, buddy. Why'd you overdrive it? So now he's having to dig his way out of the hole, and he's doing it, man. He is definitely on the move. Picked up the most starts, most position since the start.
Remember, he's one of the guys that pitted back on lap number 39 along with that 4 of Todd Gilliland.
Mike Skinner, the only other driver to sweep the 2 races at Martinsville in the truck. John Hunter Nemechek trying to do that. Skinner did it back in 2007. John Hunter's got some work to do back there in that 4th spot, and a long way to go. 6 laps left here in stage 2.
All 6 of our playoff contenders now, guys, have made it up into the top 10. Moffitt got by Sheldon Creed to take over that 10th spot a few laps ago.
Again, side by side with Gilliland and Nemechek. These two are going to be tired of seeing one another before it's all said and done.
How about that big Xfinity win for John Hunter Nemechek at Kansas?
Anytime you win, when you're in a bigger series, sorry, Phil, to jump on you there, when you're above and next up level and you win, you come back a series. It's back here in the trucks. You just have more confidence. Things start to slow down, and you have a better flow and a feel, and you communicate better with your crew chief because you have more confidence from what happened up in the series above you.
And the points as they run, you see there on the left-hand side, if you've got one of those yellow widgets next to your name, well, you are in business. You would be in on points, but if it's red like Crafton and Haley have, right now you're on the outside looking in. But remember, a lot of racing to go. This is just the first of 3 races in this round. Got Texas next week, and then Phoenix. ISM Raceway to determine who are going to be the 4 championship contenders at Miami Homestead. Sauter putting Austin Hill a lap down.
That's a bit of a surprise. Austin had a great qualifying session, qualified up in the top 10, but now going down a lap to Johnny Sauter. If he can stay in position there at the end of the stage, he will get the free pass.
Just a couple to go here in this second stage. How difficult is it to navigate this lap traffic when you're the guy up front?
Nobody wants to move over, especially being this close to the end of the stage. And you're hoping that if you are that lap truck, that you can hang on to the lucky dog spot. But yeah, as a leader, you know guys are going to be tough, and you're watching in the mirror. You're watching Gregson get closer and closer to you, and then that will help gauge how aggressive you want to make a move on the next lap truck in front of you.
Johnny Sauter into 3. That's Jordan Anderson just ahead of him in through 4, and Johnny Sauter is going to win stage 2. So Sauter takes them both to get this one started.
Johnny was literally into number 3. Jordan Anderson, when they got down at turn number 3. Jordan did a nice job staying on the lead lap, though.
Loose off.
Yeah, you heard Sauter telling crew chief Joe Shear, loose off, and they battled loose here in the spring as well. Hope that they would have that taken care of with some setup changes, but Johnny's still fighting it a bit. Strong just the same. The stage 1 and stage 2 winner, Johnny Sauter. Johnny Sauter has won stage 1 and stage 2. He's also led the most laps. Remember, Ben Rhodes did that last year. Won stage 1 and stage 2, led the most laps, or in the spring, and he finished 12th, I believe, in that race. So Johnny hopes for something better. Just because you won stage 1 and 2 doesn't mean you're going to win the race.
It looks like everybody's going to be pitting now.
Long line led by the leaders: Sauter, Gregson, Nemechek, Gilliland, the 88 of Crafton, the 98 of Enfinger coming as well. Caitlin.
Yeah, Vince, Grant Enfinger at the top of your screen. As crew chief said, take a deep breath, reset. We were able to get points in both stages. Grant saying just a little snug in the center. You see a chassis adjustment there for tires. Hermie.
Hey, Kurt, Phil, see if you've heard this one. Johnny Sauter says, I'm loose in, tight to center, loose off. They'll work to try to fix the 21. The 18 needs to roll the center as well. That'll be 4 tires and fuel, air pressure for the 18. Matt Crafton needs more lateral grip. 4 tires, fuel, and a track bar adjustment for Matt Crafton.
See the times on those stops. Like they made an adjustment maybe in that left rear of Gregson, or had some problems with the left rear, one of the two. And an extra 4 seconds during that stop for Noah.
A couple guys took 2 tires trying to gamble and gain some spots. Sauter comes off pit road in first, so I'd like to go to John Hunter Nemechek. You got us this Fox Sports up in the booth.
Yes, sir, I got you.
Hey, buddy, you've been doing really good. I noticed you picked up the most spots since the start of the race. And here's the thing, right? You're running the setup you won the race with here in the spring. How do you think it's going to play out in these final 100 laps?
I hope it plays out well. We made another small adjustment there to try and make this Ollie's bargain.
Who's going
Outlet Chevrolet Silverado a little bit better. Hopefully we made the right adjustments here for the long run, and hoping this thing goes green. That's where we shine.
10-4, good buddy. Well, best of luck with it, and hopefully everything plays out for you in the long run.
Thanks, appreciate it, guys.
John Hunter Nemechek, winner here in the spring. Gonna have a little work to do, but plenty of time to do it. The final stage when we come back to Martinsville.